You didn't raise your voice tonight. The argument was right there on that kitchen counter, and you stayed level. You answered the logistics, you even took out the trash. And somewhere in the last few years, you decided that that's what strength looked like. A man who can't be rattled, a man nothing gets through. But the steadiness she married has turned into a wall she can't get through. You're not wrong about the strength. You're using one tool for two different jobs. Now, in the next 10 minutes, I'll show you why the discipline that made you solid at work is making you unreachable at home. And one sentence you can say tonight that puts a door in that wall without giving up an inch of steadiness. And it starts protecting what the wall was actually built for. You know how the wall went up. Somewhere back there, you let something show. Maybe you said out loud that you were struggling and it came back to you in the next fight. Maybe you watched your own father lose it and you swore you'd be the opposite. So you trained yourself. Keep the voice flat. Keep the face still. Handle what's in front of you. And that worked for a long time. At work, it still does. The day goes sideways and you're the one thinking straight. People bring you the hard things because pressure doesn't move you. And at home, you're still doing the job. The bills are getting paid, the gutter's fixed, the schedule runs. When she pushes, you don't push back. You hand her the plan and step into the garage. From outside the wall, that looks like love. You're providing, protecting, you're keeping the peace by keeping yourself contained. Now here's what that training was built for. The flat base, the level voice, the distance. That operating system comes from battlefields and boardrooms. Rooms where control is the whole job, where letting people read you costs you. In those rooms, the wall is the right tool. But home isn't a battlefield. And the wall doesn't know the difference. There's research on exactly this. A team of psychologists at Stanford, James Gross and his colleagues, put pairs of people in a room to talk through something upsetting and asked one of them to keep what they felt off their face. The conversation broke down. The connection dropped. And the person sitting across from that wall, their blood pressure went up. Their body carried the strain of talking to someone they couldn't read. Her body reads the wall too. And what it reads isn't calm. It's absence. So picture the last few years from her side of it. She used to bring you the small stuff. The thing her sister said. The noise the car was making. The worry about your son. And every time she reached, she got the level voice and the plan for tomorrow. She got sensible, reasonable, managed. She didn't stop talking to you because she ran out of words. She stopped because the wall taught her not to bother. And now two adults run a household, polite, efficient, separate. Parallel lives under one roof. You're not broken. You're building. Stay at it. You are right to want the calm and right to want command of yourself under pressure. That instinct's a good one. It's the same instinct the Stoics built a whole philosophy on. You just aimed it at the wrong target. Now, Marcus Aurelius, the most famous Stoic who ever lived, wrote the book Men Still Hand Each Other, Meditations. And he wrote it at night in a war camp on the Danube, in the middle of a plague, and a war that ran most of a decade. If any man ever earned a wall, it was him. And that's not what he wrote about. He wrote to himself with no audience that we were made to work together, like hands, like feet, like eyelids. He wrote that men exist for one another. That's not ancient history. That's your kitchen. The founder of the discipline used to stay attached to the people he was responsible for. And the whole point of aiming the control at yourself, at your reactions, your temper, your fear, is so that you can stay in the room with the people who need you. It was never a license to leave the room while your body stays in a chair. The wall was never the mission. The people behind it are. So tonight, one move. And stay for what comes after, because the first time you try this, something's going to happen that'll tempt you to quit. And I'll tell you what it is in a minute. The wall doesn't have to come down. It just needs a door. When you set your keys down tonight, that's your cue. You find your wife, and then you let her see one thing the day cost you. Not the whole load, one thing. Something like, today took a real swing at me. I'm all right, but I didn't want to walk in and pretend it didn't. That's the whole move. You're not asking her to fix anything. You're letting one true thing through the door you just built. Now the part I promised. The first time you open the door, she might not walk through it. She might look at you a little sideways. She might say something short because she's been living across from that wall a long time. And one open door doesn't undo those years. That's not failure. That's the first deposit in an account you've been overdrawing for years. So keep the door open anyway. And the same move tomorrow. One sentence. One thing the day cost you. That balance comes back for the man who keeps showing up. You built that wall for a reason. It carried you through the rooms where being unreadable kept you standing. And the steadiness underneath it, that's not going anywhere. You're not trading strength for softness. You're finally pointing that strength at the right thing. Before you go, drop one word in the comments. Whatever came up when I said the word wall. I read everyone. And if you know a man living behind a wall of his own, send this to him. Good men don't guard the wall. They guard what's behind it. So put one door in the wall tonight. And as always, guard what matters.